Hello everyone, welcome to SAP Technomaniac. In this video, we will learn about the left outer join cardinality. This video will be the milestone for the association which we are going to learn in our upcoming videos. So, we will see in this video how the left outer join work with the different cardinality. Not only that, in the simple left outer join, how it will work. We will surprise to know that even we have used sometime in our select query the left outer join, that database level the database query optimizer not form that join if we don't use the data from the right hand side table. So it will not happen for the every case. It happen some of the case and it will not happen in another case. This we will see in this video. For understanding the left outer join along with the cardinality, I have created one CDS view entity. You don't know how to create the CDS view entity? Watch out my last video. I have already explained these all the annotations. So along with the defined view entity, as you can see, I am getting the data from the two tables. One is the VBAK table and another is a VBAP table. This is a simple select statement where we are getting the data from these two tables using the left outer join, and one of the field I have already displayed. So as you know, VBAK is a sales order header table and VBAP is a sales order line item table. We can have multiple entries in the VBAP table for one VBAK, one sales order in the VBAK table. So I can use inner join also here to get all the data, but I just want to explain the cardinality along with the left outer join. That is the reason I have used VBAK and VBAP, easy to understand. So, and along with this CDS view entity, I have created one program as well, very simple program. Just I have called this CDS view. I got all the fields. I'm displaying the result in the output. Whatever the data I want, I got from this particular header table. Let me get some other fields also from this header table along with the sales order number. If I want to get control space, I can do until I can select again this header table dot. I can get the customer VKORG, whatever field you want to get, you can get as can give alias name. If you don't want to give, that is also fine. Okay, so I got one another field and let me activate this CDS view. So first what we will see, what is the actual query executed on the database when we run this particular select query. In one of my previous video, when we have started the OpenSQL enhancement, there I have told you for each select query, because each select query will execute on database, but this is whatever we are writing here, this is OpenSQL language, but it will be converted by our application server. In the application server we have the interface, database interface. There it will convert this OpenSQL statement to the native SQL statement. So when it will convert in the native SQL statement, what it is exactly happening, we can see using the ST05 transaction. What is the native query? What is the native SQL statement actually executing on the database? It will help us to understand what exactly is happening when we are doing the left outer join with the with some cardinality. So first we will see the simple select statement, how it got executed on the database. So for that I have to call the ST05 transaction. You can do Alt F8, just call this ST05 transaction. Just you have to activate the trace with filter, and you have to give inside the filter you have to give the program name. Our program name is ZCDS consumption _1, and activate the trace. Come to your program and do the F9 or F8, whatever you want to do, to just display the data. So I got the data, I got all the sales order, go to ST05 and deactivate the trace. So this result we got, but during this, to fetch the result, one query got executed on database. So to see that query, I have to go to and display the trace, and I just want to display the current trace. Let me execute. If you execute, you will see let me this console result. Let me close it out. And let me enlarge little bit this thing, so we can see the select query got executed. So you can see this select query got executed in this particular program on the GDDLS sample 04 CDS. Let me see this select query. There is something called the display execution plan. It will show us what all are the table we have hit during the this particular query execution on the database. Or if you simply double click on that, it will show you the native SQL statement. So this will show you what all are the object name, but I don't want to see this one. I want to see the execution plan. So you have to just hit on the execution plan. As soon as you hit the execution plan, you will see the native query. As you can see, since we have used the left outer join on the VBAK and VBAP table, so you can see during our execution how many table you have hit. It is telling you you perform one join on the sales order and you have hit VBAK and VBAP table, and this particular query got executed on your database. This is native SQL statement, not your open SQL statement. This particular select query, what it is doing, let me explain with the values. So it have added one more additional thing I want to tell. I have already explained in this query we didn't give any mandate field, client field, but in the database level, database interface have added that client field for us to fetch the data only from the current client, and we are getting the data like this. This is very simple. We have understand it's a left outer join how it works. But this is currently what we are hitting the left outer join. You can see the two table got called here, VBAK and VBAP. Even I didn't get single field from the VBAP, but still I'm getting this particular query is forming that join and getting the VBAK and VBAP together. But one more scenario is like that. This is called, I can say, this particular first case is called, if we say like this, when we have the left hand side table is having 1 to n relation with the right hand side table. Means we have the for one sales order can have n number of sales order line item. So VBAK having the one entry, then n number of entries can have VBAP. There is reverse case. If we have n to 1, suppose instead of putting the n to 1 case, and n to 1 case means our left hand side table is having more number of column, means line item table we are hitting first, then we are joining with the header table. So let me do that thing. Let me replace this control C, or what I will do, here it will not work. So like that, control C and control V, and this control C and control V. In this case, what I am doing, instead of hitting the header table first, I am hitting the item table and then I am joining with the header table. And data also let me get from the item table only. Control V, and we don't have Punar. Let me get some other data. Let me get that some material number or Posner number or something like that. Posner, let me get Shift F1, Control F3. So the change is that previously we were having the relation between the left hand side table and right hand side 1 to n. Now we are having relationship between the left hand side table and right hand side table n to 1. Now I want to see how the database is executing my query. You will see one interesting point on here. So let me execute this again, this query. Let me come out from this st05 trace, again come out, again come back, and let me activate trace with filter, and let me give again the same program name, activate my trace. Let me execute this program again using F9. Result I got, and let me deactivate the trace. I'm not interested about the result how I am getting as of now. Obviously I will get the sales order and line item data. So you can see, because we have for this sales order we have 2 line items, so you can see you got 2 times this particular sales order in this case. But what I want to show you, if you see your trace and see your execution plan of your particular your select query, same you have selected. Let me see my execution plan. The interesting point is that, see, when you hit the ratio of n to 1, that time join didn't happen. Your left outer join didn't happen on the database. And one more important, I want to tell, this thing I am only explaining for the HANA database. It might be the case in other databases, it will work differently. So in this case, you can see, and this you can see there is no join happened. We are getting the data only from VBAP. It didn't join with the VBAK table just because we are getting the data from VBAP and we got the data and it got displayed, and join didn't happen. In this time there is no join, no where condition, no VBAK at all. That's a very interesting point. The next thing is, this all things will help us. Why I am explaining this all things? Because this all things will help us when we work with the associations. How association ultimately form the joins only, but how the joins is happening, that we have to understand. For understanding that things, we have to understand for join itself, how joins, normal joins is happening. So you can see, if n to 1 relation is there, that time even we didn't get the data from the right hand side table, means VBAK table, it didn't join, that join didn't happen at all. Because we didn't get. But in other case, when we have the 1 to n relationship, even we are not getting the data from the right hand side, the join is happening. That's a one important critical point. This is the first thing I want to explain. Second thing, now we will come to our cardinality. So you can, if you might have seen this kind of statement where we can give the cardinality to the particular left outer join. So there is something called too many and too one. Left outer join, too many, and this cardinality work only with the left outer join. It will not work with the inner join and right outer join. So you have to make sure. What I am telling the system, that when I am mentioning the too many, means I am telling there can be the for left hand side means VBAK. Let me put again VBAK here and VBAP over here. Control X. Let me remove this one. Control V. Happen. What I am telling to the system, that if you can have for one entry in VBAK, you can have multiple entries in the VBAP. This particular left outer join, when we are telling the system too many, instead of too many, if I can tell like that, system got stuck. I can tell like that 2-1 join. It is telling now that if for the one entry in the header table, there is the only one entry in the line item table. I am explicitly telling the system. So what will be the impacted over here? The impact will be like that. If you have one entry in the header table and corresponding one entry in the line item table, the database optimizer, how it will work, that will change. If you are telling the to the database optimizer, there will be only one entry, database optimizer only will get the one entry. As soon as he will get the one entry, it will go further. He will try to get for the next condition. So we are basically optimizing the query, but this will happen, optimization will happen only two cases. First case, when we are not getting any field from the right hand side table, when we are not getting any field from the VBAP table, then only this optimization will happen. Or second case, when we do the any aggregation on any field and when we are trying to get the aggregated data, that time also optimization will happen. Let me show you in the system, then you will understand properly. Because I would have given you that theory example also, but this is very difficult to understand using the theory. So first what I will do, let me do the again header, Control C, Control V, Control V, and Kunal. What I will do left outer join to one join. I'm telling there is only one line item is available in the VBAP table for one header table. Let me control F3 and let me activate this one. And if I will try to get the data, let me execute again this SQL trace. Let me come back here, come back, activate trace with filter, and just for this program I want to activate, and let me do F9. This time customer number I got, deactivate the trace and see the display this particular trace, execute this data, and I want to see this particular execution plan. If you see this execution plan, in this time we don't have the join at all. If I will show you, let me close this console. If I don't use if I use normal left outer join, that time join happened. And this is again 1 to n case only, and join happened and it formed the join. Even we are not user, we didn't use from the item table any field, the join happened. That was our first case. But in this case I explicitly specified that you have only one entry. What database optimizer did, only since we already told there is only one entry in that system, so he didn't duplicated the entry, and we got the the join didn't form on the database level, and we only hit the one table and we got the result. This is the, again, instead of doing one join, if I would have done many too many, instead of 2 1 I would have done too many, the join would have formed. Let me show you. Control F3. Let me come back again. Let me activate trace with filter and give the program name, and that's it. And let me do F9 again to get the data. Let me show you this particular filter again. Display, deactivate trace, display trace, execute again. So the query execution plan. So you can see this time join happened. Since I have used, I didn't tell database like that, there is only one instance. So in this case, even we are not getting the data from the item table, join happen, and you can see the left outer join with one to many. You can see one to many, VBLN and VBL. By default, if you don't use this one to many, it by default is happening one to many only, and we are getting the data from the only the header table, but still the line item is repeating. If you see the result also, that you will be having the, if you have multiple line items, let me show you the result. F9. If you have, for example, for this sales order we have multiple line item, so it got repeated 2 times. Even the duplicate entries we are getting, you can see, for the, because joined happened. If the joint would have not happened, I would have got only the single entry. This like that, this too many and this 2 1 work. Again, one more important thing, if I'm using 2 1 also, and if I am getting the data from the line item table also, in this case join will happen definitely, because I have used the right hand signed table as well. So in this case, database optimizer will not work. Even we have told the system there is one entry. If we have multiple entry, the multiple entries we will get. Let me show you. Item dot Posner. Okay. Posner. Let me get one more field, item underscore item dot Metner. So I go to line item from the line item table also. Let me do Control F3 and let me execute this program. F8, F9, sorry. So if you see that one, let me go up. Let me clear out the console first and execute again. F9. You can see for particular, let me close it out. For particular sales order, we get the 2 times this particular entries. I don't think so. I got activated. Control F3. Let me activate this again. Let me do F9 again. Clear out the console. Let me do F9. So you can see I got the data for the sales order line item also. I got the data. But if you see the join, even I have used left outer join to 1, even we have the multiple entries, we are getting the multiple entries. And the database level, if you want to see the query execution plan, that also I will show you. The join will happen in this case, even we have mentioned to 1 join. Let me do that thing also. Let me come back again. Activate trace with filter and again give this program name and execute this program one more time. F9 executed. Let me deactivate the trace and display the trace. Execute the plan. Go to the particular statement execution plan I want to see. So you can see join happened this time, but this time we got the multiple field. You can see along with the client field, sales order, Kunnar, Posner, Matner also I got, and join happened. Even we have used left outer join to 1 join. But that, like, since we have used right hand side table also, that is the reason it happened like this. And one more other case also there, where this particular right hand side this particular case can happen if we use the count. So instead of doing this all the things, Control Shift less than, what I will do, I will count the entries only. I will use an aggregate function. Count star is number of entries. Entry. Okay, let me just use entry, or let me activate Control F3. If I use left outer to 1 join, so in this case it will hit only the VBAK table. If I use left outer to many join, it will hit VBAK and VBAP, and we will get the multiple entries. In this time I will just show you the console result, not the not the console, because you already know when the 1 join is happening. Let me do F9. Let me activate this. Control F3. F9. Okay, I didn't display it actually. Let me do F8 instead of F9. This time, because I'm executing through directly CDS, it will display here itself. I'm not calling in the query. If you call query in the query also, it will work same way. You can see we got the 1080 entry. But if since we have the in the sales order table only 1080 entry only, let me show you that also. Let me do the join, and then we will get to know automatically. Too many instead of to 1, too many. Control F3. Let me do F9. F8, sorry. Cancel. Control F3. F8. Didn't get activated yet. So you can see this time how many entries we got. 1506 entries, because we have 1506 entries in VBAP table. Previously how much we got? 1080. Let me show you entries as well, just to confirm. VBAK, if you open the VBAK table and if you do the data preview, so these all things will help us to understand the association cardinality. Ultimately, association, what it will form the join only. So that is the reason. Let me do F9, F8 to preview the data. So number of entries I want to see. So just click on number of entries. Okay. Now click on number of entries. System got bit slow. 1080, you can see 1080. But if you see in the VBAP table, the number of entries will be 1506 entries. So like that, this left outer join work along with the cardinality. At last, let me summarize all the things together. When we are using the left outer join, if the table relationship between the left hand side and right hand side is the 1 to n, even we are not fetching the data from the right hand side table, it will form a join. But if the table relationship between the left hand side and right hand side table is n to 1, then it will not form the join if we are not getting the data from the right hand side. Same goes with, instead of using normal left outer join, if you are using left outer too many join, that we are specifying cardinality too many. But there is something odd change when we are using left outer to one join. We are telling the database specifically there is a one entry only in the right hand side which belong to the left hand side on conditions. So in that case, what will happen? Database optimizer will work. It will work only when we are not getting any data from the right hand side table. So it will not, if we are not getting the data from the right hand side, it will not form a join and it will work faster. Obviously, if it is not forming a join, we are not getting the multiple data table in, we are not hitting the multiple database table, and we will be getting the data faster and database optimizer will work. Not only in this case, but also when we are using any aggregate function. In this video, we have shown you count. Instead of count, we are doing summation, average, any aggregation we are doing that time, or we have not used any right hand side table field. In that case, what will happen? It will not hit the right hand side table itself, and we will do the aggregation only on the left hand side table. So that's a very important thing. So these all things will be impacted when we see the associations cardinality. Ultimately, the association form joins, and the joins, how it will work, first we have to know, then only we will be able to learn the association. I hope you like this video. You have learned something new from this video. Please subscribe this channel, like this video, and share these videos with others as well. With that, thank you and happy learning.